Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome to this crash course in Space Empires 4X. I'm not going to be covering every rule. I'm only going to be covering the basic rule set, as that's all you need to get playing. Space Empires 4X is a board game for 1 to 4 players in the vein of Master of Orion, Sins of a Solar Empire, and its namesake, Space Empires. Each player plays as a spacefaring empire with the goal of exploring space, expanding your empire, exploiting resources, and exterminating your opponents by building big fleets of spaceships. There are 4 colors to choose from. The ships look different from color to color, but they all play exactly the same. Yes, this is a hex and counter-based game. Yes, there are a lot of counters. And yes, you need to keep track of some information using pencil and paper. But despite all of this, the game is surprisingly easy to pick up and plays quickly. There are 2 major types of counters: ships and systems. System markers either have a white border or they match a player's color. On the back, they have some kind of celestial body that you can explore, like planets, asteroid fields, and black holes. The pieces that match a player's color represent the home systems. These are systems that surround a player's home world. They are very safe to explore, except for one system marker, which is a black hole. The white bordered pieces are deep space markers. They are dangerous to explore. You'll want to send out scout ships ahead of your main fleet. Your homeworld has the number 20 on it. This is how much CP, or money, it makes per economic phase. You also normally start the game with 3 scouts, 3 colony ships, a miner, and 4 shipyards. Colonies you make also have a number showing how much money they produce. Ship counters are either combat ships with a generic appearing back, or non-combat ships. Combat ships have a generic back in order to hide information from your opponent. This allows for a lot of surprises and deception. The flip side is the group marker. This shows all of the stats a unit has. A unit's attack class, attack strength, and defense rating are shown in the bottom left. The unit's hull size or hit points are in the bottom right, and the unit's group identification number is in the top left. The number of individual ships in a given group is represented by putting a numerical counter underneath the group marker. This is also hidden from your opponent. Group markers exist just to organize your ships. There is no significance to the identification number. It's just a way for you to keep track of them. You can have up to 6 individual ships underneath each group marker, and you can break up and reform groups whenever you want. It's just a matter of convenience. For example, your 3 scouts. Here, we have pre-shuffled stacks of space markers set up according to team color, SC1, 2, and 3. It would be a good idea to separate them so you can explore a larger area. Non-combat ships include colony ships that make new colonies for you, and miners which tow in mines you can find. There are 2 kinds of turns in the game. Regular turns, in which you move units, have combat, and explore in turn order, and economic phases, which occur simultaneously. You will have 3 regular turns before each economic phase. During your regular turn, you may move units based on their movement technology level. All units start the game moving 1 hex per turn, and non-combat units may only move 1 hex per turn. Shipyards and bases may not move. When you enter an unexplored area, a nebula, a black hole, an asteroid field, or an enemy-occupied hex, you must stop. Ships without combat ability cannot enter these hexes without a combat-capable ship also entering the hex. But you don't need to stop in enemy hexes that lack combat units. In fact, you may destroy lone enemy non-combat ships without stopping. If you come across a planet and you have a colony ship, you may build a colony there by dismantling the ship on the planet. The colony ship will remain in the hex, ship side up, until the end of the ensuing economic phase, when you can flip it over and place a 1 colony on it. Barren planets require the terraforming technology to be colonized, and barren planets in deep space have hostile aliens on them. If, after all the ships you want to move have moved, and you have units in the same hex as other enemy units, combat occurs. First, set aside all non-combat ships. They will not participate in battle. Both sides then reveal the type and number of ships they have. The player with more individual ships may choose to screen ships up to the difference. So, if you have 2 ships and I have 4 ships, I may screen 2 ships. Screened ships cannot fire, but they also cannot be targeted in combat for this firing round. Next, if you outnumber your opponent 2 to 1, all ships in your fleet get +1 to attack. Arrange your ships by attack class. This is the speed at which the units fire. A is the best. Each unit in combat fires in order of attack class, 1 at a time. Combat is not simultaneous. Then the ship with the highest tactics technology shoots first. If tactics technology is tied, the defender shoots first. Each unit may target an enemy unit as long as it is not screened. The ship then rolls a 10-sided die. The 0 on the die means 10. A ship hits if it rolls equal to or less than its attack value. The defense value of the target is subtracted from the firing ship's attack value, making it harder to hit the target. If a hit is scored, place a damage marker on the ship. If the damage equals a ship's hull size, the ship is immediately destroyed. This continues until all individual ships have fired. Then another firing round starts, and screening and fleet size bonus are recalculated. After the first firing round, units may choose to retreat when it is their turn to fire, instead of firing. They immediately move to an adjacent hex that is the same distance or closer to the nearest colony. This cannot be an unexplored hex. Non-combat ships may not retreat. In fact, if only non-combat ships remain on one side of combat, they are immediately destroyed. If your ships are in orbit around an enemy colony, and the enemy has no other ships left to fight, each ship may fire once, and only once, at the colony. Each time they score a hit, the colony's counter is reduced, and eventually it will be destroyed, and you may colonize the original planet. If you do this to your opponent's homeworld, you win the game. After moving your units and resolving combat, exploration occurs if you're in an unexplored hex. Flip over the system marker. Nebula and asteroids affect movement and combat. Planets can be colonized. If you get a black hole, each individual ship must roll for survival. If you roll a 1 through 6, the ship survives. Otherwise, it's destroyed. If a ship re-enters the black hole, it has to roll for survival again. The danger marker, which only occurs in deep space, destroys all ships in that hex. The marker is then removed afterwards. Lost in space markers make your ships move again in a direction chosen by the opponent to your right, including entering into another unexplored hex, which is then immediately flipped over, or entering into an enemy territory, which then would cause combat. The marker is removed afterwards. Supernovas cause all units to return to the hex they came from. The marker stays in that hex and is basically a wall from now on. Minerals may be towed by your miner ships back to your homeworld or any colony, including newly founded colonies. Then, the minerals may be cashed in for the printed amount during the ensuing economic phase. Space wrecks may be towed like minerals, but they provide a random boost to technology during your ensuing economic phase. During your economic phase, follow the production sheet. Adding up income from your colonies and minerals. Calculate your maintenance costs by adding up the hull size of every individual combat ship, except for your bases and shipyards. Subtract this from your income. You may then bid for turn order during the next round. Using your technology and ship charts as a menu, select any ships or technologies that you want to buy. It's a good idea to buy your second miner for 5 CP to help tow minerals, and more colony ships for 8 CP each to colonize your 8 normal planets in the early game. You place new units at a shipyard, but you can only place the number of hull sizes equal to the number of shipyards at a colony. New shipyards do not count towards available hull sizes, so it helps to place new shipyards at the very end of your economic phase. All non-combat ships are considered to have a hull size of 1 for this purpose. Building more shipyards lets you get more ships out faster, but you can only place 1 new shipyard and 1 new base per colony in each economic round. The colony must have given you some income in this phase. You can't use brand new shipyards to build new ships. At the end of your economic phase, increase the value of your colonies. Attack technology increases your attack value, but only as much as your hull size. Just look at the unit tracking sheet. Defense technology does the same, but for your defense value. Tactics technology lets you fire before enemy units of the same class. Ship size allows you to build bigger, more powerful ships. If you just purchased a bigger ship size level, you can start building ships of that level right away. Movement lets your ships move faster based on this chart found on the back of the rulebook. Shipyard technology lets you build more hull sizes at a given shipyard. So, at level 1, 2 shipyards can build 2 hull sizes worth of ships, while at level 2, the same number of shipyards can build 3 ships. Exploration technology lets individual cruisers peek at adjacent, unexplored hexes. They can leave the marker face down or reveal it. If they reveal it, the negative effects, like danger, do not affect the ship and the marker can be removed. Cruisers can explore 2 hexes in one turn this way, by using the technology on one hex, then moving into another. Keep in mind, only newly built ships have the latest technology. Ships that are already out in the universe do not automatically upgrade. Your group markers must all contain ships of the same technology level. Keep track of their technology levels on the unit sheet. Outdated ships can get upgraded at shipyards for a small fee during regular turns. I highly recommend you start by playing the small 2-player scenario, and that you only use the basic rules to start. It'll let you play faster as there are fewer decisions to make. Then, when you understand the basic game, you can move on to the advanced rules. The Space Empires community on BoardGameGeek.com is great and growing every day. You should check it out. That's it for this crash course in Space Empires 4X. Good luck out there.